And then when you get back from the election trail, he's like, hey, you know what, guys, why don't we just do it right now before anybody's had a chance to campaign? So I believe that we should do the campaigning, not this show, but Americans should do the campaigning. And I'd like to nominate Rick Scott to replace him. All in favor?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
sure.
Good. It's
right.
passed. So, Rick...
Wait, unanimous?
It was unanimous.
Wait, so why Rick Scott?
He's number one. Mm-hmm. He is... he's just not Mitch McConnell.
Okay.
That is true.
He's actually highly qualified for that role of not being Mitch McConnell.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's interesting. Yeah, he seems like a guy, he's not like the most divisive guy in the Senate. He probably could build somewhat of a coalition.
I think so. And he's strong.
Yep.
He's a strong conservative. He'd do a good job, and he can, I think he could bring people together and get things done. So...
That's exactly why it won't happen.
It will if people flood the Senate starting tomorrow.
Yeah, not today. If you're worried about Kentucky today, worry about Rand Paul getting reelected.
Yeah.
But after that, this is an interesting conversation. I think it's the type of thing Republicans always talk about doing, but never actually do.
Yeah, because now this is a rule of thumb, okay, but I think it proves to be true. If I had to describe the two parties, one is just stupid, and the other one's evil.
That's a good description,
right?
Yeah.
Now, I might be boiling things down a little too.
I don't know. Sometimes Republicans are evil. Sometimes Democrats are stupid.
Yeah.
But usually when a Democrat is stupid, he's also evil.
Yeah, they're stupid and evil. And kind of the same thing for Republicans. When they're evil,
the evil ones tend to be smart. So when their Republicans are evil, they're smart. It's just the good ones that seem to be so dumb.
You know who would be a great majority leader is Mike Lee, the best senator in the United States of America.
Again, worried about getting elected today.
And I think he's got it. I don't think so, because Mike is a lot of things, overqualified for almost anything, except for the cheerleader.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's not exactly
electric.
No, but Mitch McConnell is dirty, so he just pulls, he pulls strings and stuff. Mike would never do that. So
yeah.
All right. Anyway, let's go to the governors.
Governors. All right. So there's 14 that are not up for election. 6 Democrats, 8 Republicans. Of course, control in this, the number doesn't necessarily mean all that much, unlike the Senate, but. Likely Democrats: Hawaii, Rhode Island, Colorado, Massachusetts, Maryland, which were both Republicans, now going over to the Democrats, but those stories are kind of liberal Republicans.
Really? Maryland was run by a Republican?
It was, sort of.
Yeah.
Connecticut, Illinois, and California. Gavin Newsom should win, unfortunately, easily there. Republicans, crazy. Likely, I know. Remember, I think the chance to take out Gavin Newsom was the recall, which was pretty close, even though people like to say he blew out the other. It was not. It was a few percentage points, and he was in real danger just a couple of weeks before that election actually occurred. Alabama, Tennessee, Arkansas, Idaho, Nebraska, Ohio, Iowa, Wyoming, South Carolina, Vermont, New Hampshire, both Republicans, South Dakota, and then a couple that were in the discussion for a while as to whether they'd be up. Texas, Greg Abbott will win there, and Florida, Ron DeSantis.
Let's just take a minute and just think of Beto's life after this.
And Charlie Crist. I mean, both of those are pretty delightful.
They are. Any way either of those guys could ever run for a major office again?
Yeah. No, absolutely. They will just be sent to fill those positions that are impossible to win. So they can just run
lose again. Perennial losers.
Yeah, just perennial losers.
That's the Abrams story, right? Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing. Okay, so that gets you to 22 Republicans and 14 Democrats. The lead Democrats, I have Pennsylvania, which again is just, he's been running, Shapiro has been running ahead of Fetterman by about 8 to 10 points. So I think they'll hold that one. Maine, this is a tough one. What do you guys think about New York?
I think
you think Zeldin's going to pull this out? You think that Zeldin is real?
I I do. I refuse to call it.
No, I think it's a great word.
Yeah, I know.
I really, really want this to be real. I really, really want it to happen.
It's just hard to believe that it
Hard to
can.
believe.
I mean, yes, Pataki won, in the 2000s, but it seems like it's been forever.
It's been a
since
long
the
time.
Republican won.
When did Pataki win?
What was it, 2005?
No, it was before. He was there for 2001, right?
Yeah,
he
was there
so
for
he was in the
2000.
90s.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was really
So,
in the 90s.
Wow, it's been a long time.
It has been a long time, but look at how bad. Do we have the clip of not Whitmer, but what's her name, Hochul, talking about crime yet again? Here she is yesterday.
He has been hyperventilating, trying to scare people for fun. And New Yorkers are onto it. All the news organizations have called him out for what he's doing, fear mongering. It's not just here in New York. There's other places all across the country. All you need to know is that the Democratic states are safer than the Republican states. Check out the facts.
Oh, crap. Stupid line.
Oh my gosh, jeez.
It's unbelievable.
So,
So, New York really, I think it's a lot tighter than anyone could have possibly expected.
I think it is.
I think one of the big problems, though, and this, I mean this sincerely, is over the past couple of years, it's been so bad in New York. How many people do you know that have moved from New York to
Oh
Florida?
yeah, it might just be the really scary people.
The people who vote, the people who would vote for Lee Zeldin in this situation already voted with a plane and a moving truck, and now are in another state. And so many people left that state that would possibly be Zeldin voters. That might be the problem. Again, it's still a blue state, and the fundamentals there are pretty strong in the Democrats' favor. I did not like to give this one to the Democrats, but I did. It gave a close hanging on thing. Alaska, it's going to be Republican ranked choice voting, though. It's
Treason. What he's speaking right there is treason.
I think in the constitutionally accurate way, you're right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And that's the one penalty where there's an actual punishment.
I don't even remember that.
The rest of my life,
yeah.
because I think
I'm not the one speaking
It's
treason.
the founding fathers who threatened your life.
I knew I hated
They
it.
saw you please. They saw you. They saw it coming a mile away. A mile and 240 years away.
Georgia, Kemp, you think Kemp's going to hold on there?
Yes.
I think, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think by-
Stacey Abrams
by
finally
law.
out of our lives.
Yeah.
Oklahoma, the oddly competitive Oklahoma. We talked to
That is
Governor
weird.
Stitt yesterday.
How'd that happen?
And his opponent is a former Republican that just switched parties.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of a quirky race.
And they're saying Oklahoma's crime rate is higher than New York's. Is that even true? I haven't fact-checked that yet.
Part of this is it's so weird the way they do this. Like, like the highest murder rate in America is Alaska. Now, would you feel like you'd be the most unsafe in Alaska?
If
Would you-
the murderers are polar bears, yes.
Right. Well, yeah, exactly. Yes. When you
And some of them
broaden
are.
it-
Yeah, they are.
When you broaden it to states, it winds up a lot of times smaller population states that have one bad Democratic-run city rank high on state
Yeah.
lists. It's really unimportant and idiotic measure. Of course,
You look
Oklahoma
at
cities says it anyway.
You look at cities.
That's where all the crime is.
Yeah.
You know?
27 out of the top 30 cities in America have massive crime. The worst cities in America for crime. The first 27 of them are run by
But
Democrats.
just the first 27.
Yeah, this is the first 27.
That's
Yeah.
not bad.
Yeah.
It's not all of
I
them.
don't even know how you could find any kind of a pattern there.
Okay, Carrie Lake, she gonna win?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep, I agreed. I think
Yes.
she is. Nevada, very close. Lombardo, I have it as winning for Republicans as well.
Yes.
Wisconsin, very, very close. Even closer than the Senate race. I also gave that to Republicans. One of the more difficult races, honestly, I went back and forth on a bunch of times, is Kansas. Kansas has a Democratic governor, which should not be the case, boys and girls. Kansas should not be the case. This should not be happening. I actually went back and watched this debate recently, and it's like you have this like grandmotherly figure as the Democrat, and this very buttoned-up Republican who really knows. You could tell he knows what he's talking about. He's very intelligent, and you just look at this, you're just like, how is this? But the polls are super close, and this governor in Kansas might hold on. I gave it to the Republicans. It's a tough one though. That could go either way.
That's just to cover your tracks up for treason.
For treason, yeah. I'm trying to get out of the treason thing. Minnesota, oddly, very, very close in this cycle.
Yeah.
Giving that to Democrats.
The thing I want to watch tonight is in Minnesota. How does Keith Ellison